we kind of asked HR professionals what type of questions were the mostly asked, and the answer we had was behavioral. They all want to know what are your weaknesses, what would you do in certain situations, and stuff like that. So at the moment, any type of job seeker can go and find questions that are likely to be asked. We're thinking to make it more specific per job function or per industry, and why not even companies? For example, we know that Amazon has a very, very special way of interviewing with very specific type of questions, and it wouldn't be too difficult to create. But we're still trying to validate our model and see what our users think of it.
Well, I can tell you, I've used it. I think it's awesome. I'm bought and paid for, I guess, but that's okay. And that's interesting to hear there, Waïna, because, I think for a lot of industries, you could really hone this platform and really help a lot of people. Say you're an insurance professional and you need to learn, here in America, to get in with one of the big insurance agencies. As you said, with Amazon, they probably have a very specific way of talking to people and bringing people in, and they may even work with you to help find folks through your platform, which is really interesting. So quite quick kind of another question on that same note. What about international jobs? I'm in the US, you are in Spain right now. Again, another part of that world traveler persona you have. If I'm in the US, I speak with a very American accent, if you will. Does MockMate have the same advice for somebody who is either from the UK or from Germany? Is there any trouble with understanding somebody who either speaks English with an accent, or is there like another language version of MockMate yet?
So at the moment, it's kind of the same for everyone. We're using a bunch of Google APIs, so the accents are recognized very well. I would say a large chunk of our users are from India, and they do have an accent, and the platform works seamlessly. Because we're using Google APIs, also means that we can translate most of the website. Not like it wouldn't be very, very difficult, but again, we have to focus and be great at something, and we feel now that the biggest opportunity is with the English-speaking market.
Right,
but of course, we're thinking about translating, and also an interesting aspect because I'm from Belgium, and in Belgium we speak 3 different languages.
Right.
So recruiters like to throw you a curveball during the interview and start speaking to you in a different language to see how proficient you are.
Yeah. Out. Really?
Oh yeah.
That's mean.
So we could potentially also train the candidates to, for example, if the job description lists a specific language that is required, we could potentially throw a curveball and send a question in Mandarin, let's say, or in Spanish, and see how the candidates performs. No, so this is also something that's on the roadmap that we're really excited about, but we're focusing on delivering stuff.
Wow. And that you described 2 really insane things there, Waïna. Number one, the fact that you want to actually take the platform to be able to throw that curveball. But number 2, the fact that the recruiters, if there's a multilingual aspect to the job, just shift gears right into, they might be saying, tell me about a time when you did this. And then they go into dígame, like, whoa, going into the Spanish or as you said, Mandarin, which it's going to be down to English and Mandarin for the 2 languages of the world. If you ask me, Spanish is 3rd place, but that's crazy. So language isn't a problem, which is neat. And actually, I think that's wonderful for folks. If you speak English, no matter what your dialect is, I think that's a really, really great feature that no matter where you're from, as long as you speak English and, we can translate the web page, I think that's making it very accessible, very open to people. So Waïna, we've covered a lot of ground actually in a rather short amount of time. So what so far did I miss about MockMate and how it works that folks should know when they go visit your platform?
Yeah, so I think I would say 2 things. The first one is that MockMate came out of, the recruiting hell. We felt that it was so hard to find a job, and we were really frustrated. And so we really wanted to help candidates train around, make sure they're prepared, and give them the best shot at landing the job they want. What I also noticed is that, I did a kind of top tier MBA program where all this was taught and was part of the program. But turns out it's not rocket science. You can learn all these things by yourself. But I was never taught this before. And so kind of my contribution was to try to put this knowledge out there and make it accessible to people. And so you don't have to pay a super expensive program or tutor or career coaches. You can do this very affordably on MockMate, and that's kind of where we come from. And I think the second point would be that, again, this frustration of getting ghosted, of only having your CV and cover letter to shine, for us was really something that we feel uncomfortable about. It's difficult to being judged only with your CV and a bunch of paragraphs that you write, right?
Right.
So we're trying now, and we're piloting with a company called Novutech to use MockMate to recruit people. So they're using the platform to interview candidates, and they're using it on top of the CV, on top of the cover letter, and basically gives the candidates an improved or at least a better chance to shine in front of a recruiter and to be heard. Because maybe you don't have the right credentials, maybe you didn't go to the super school, maybe you have like an untraditional experience that doesn't really shine in your CV or cover letter, but you get the chance to explain that and make the case for you during that interview. And we also see value for companies, because companies, Rob, only 2% of people are called for an interview. And
right.
Usually companies receive like 200-300 CVs. And that means there's a huge loss for them in terms of, community, in terms of like inclusion. And we strongly believe that by using MockMate and increasing the pool of candidates they interview, they'll be able to find a better fit for their job, but also improve like inclusion and fairness.
That's really cool. And that's when technology helps society like that. I think that's a really great thing that, maybe marginalized people will do even better with things like MockMate, where they might not have had the advantages, like you said, of going to a great school, or, maybe they don't have the GPA and they have talents in other areas that don't shine when you upload a document that talks about your past jobs, whether it was something in, and you've only been able to work fast food or something like that. I think that's really a great strength of your platform. So folks, I think, should really try it out. That's for sure.
Exactly. And I also think that, formatting of CVs and all of that is kind of, at least it puts a little bit of responsibility on the recruiters as well to, hear the candidates instead of just running the CV through, through a keyword analysis and just make a decision like that.
Got it. Well, last but not least, Waïna, again, I think we've come kind of down to the end here. We have covered so much. This actually might be one of our shortest episodes, but I think it's actually got one of the most actionable things that people can do for their job hunt, like today, like right now. If somebody listens to this, they can go to your site and they can say, hey, I need to practice for this interview that I have coming up next week. And they're going to get feedback within, 1 to 2 minutes if they're recording an answer, correct?
Oh, yeah. It's immediate. I would say even 10 seconds.
So, yeah, the long part is actually giving the answer. Everything else kind of comes right back to you. Very cool.
Of course, and that's the hard part of candidates' life, right? Building stories and making, compelling stories.
Definitely. Well, good deal. Well, I think that probably wraps us up here for today, Waïna. This has been great, and you've been great. And I think it's time to just remind everybody here, where they can go to find this really neat tool of yours and what it's all about. So if you want to give a plug, I guess, for the whole MockMate system, go ahead.
Sure. So you just go on our page, www.mockmate.com. You register your account, and then you're free to practice as many questions as you want. We might switch to freemium premium version in the coming months. I'm really pleased to make an offer to the listeners of this podcast. And if you ever go on the website and see that there's a paywall or that you have to pay, please email us at hello@mockmate.com, and we'll make sure to, waive the fees for you guys.
Wow, Waïna, that is incredibly generous. So again, for those of you listening, the man with the plan here, Waïna Landauro, founder of MockMate. If you happen to head to MockMate after this episode is aired, or maybe it's been out for 2 years or whatever it might be, and you would like to use the platform as a thank you to us, again, Waïna, that's incredibly generous. And if you run into a paywall, simply email them at hello@mockmate.com. And
correct.
You guys will work with folks.
Mention the podcast.
Mention the podcast.
I see the CFO making gestures here, so
mention the podcast. Yes.
At least.
Got to be a listener, but that is so cool, and I think that's a wonderful thing to make sure that you folks are being, number one, so generous with that. So thank you from me and then from all of my listeners and the future listeners, but also that kind of achieves the goal of this show to help people get jobs. So I think it's great.
We were candidates before. We were stuck in recruiting hell, and this comes from a willingness from us to change this and do something positive to help people land their jobs and give them all the cards in their hands to land it. So it's our pleasure to share and our best success stories will be people landing jobs because they trained on MockMate.
That's incredible. That is just incredible. So then if folks, use your website, where else can they find you, Waïna? Where else can they find MockMate?
We have all the socials. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn, but I must say I have major preference for our Instagram account. I'm actually running the Instagram account myself, and that's where I put all my frustrations about the job market, and I try to meme a lot, so if you want to let go of your frustration and have a quick laugh about rejection and stuff, you should have a look at our Instagram page for sure. Good
deal. And again, that's where I found you, and I will tell you, listeners, this man's meme game is strong as can be. Oh my gosh, I have laughed at your page more than I've laughed at my own page and other people's pages probably put together. I love the stuff you guys put out. So again, folks, follow them on Instagram, follow them on all the socials, and of course, visit them at mockmate.com. Really neat AI job training platform to help you ace interviews. I think I've got everything there, right, Waïna?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Rob. It was a great opportunity to share my vision and present my project here. It was really great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, it's pretty cool, and we will definitely have you back, especially if there's been significant improvements to the platform. And again, your offer tremendously generous there to help the listeners of this show. If they mention that to you folks down the road. So I'll close things up here. So on my end of things for Recruiting Hell, of course, we just launched a new website this past week, and it's recruiting-hell.com. So go there, click things, get extras, follow us on the social media buttons that took me literally an hour to position because I'm not a web designer. There's a new newsletter in the works right now. I just got finished writing the first edition of that, so be sure to sign up for that at the bottom of our webpage as well and get some great additional insight into your inbox. Last but not least, of course, Recruiting Hell is a production of Westport Studios here in beautiful Port Washington, Wisconsin, and a resident show of Podcast Town. So if you're looking for more great shows, don't only listen to us, but check out some of my friends' shows out there in the podcast world. They're a great set of content creators who I not only call friends, but whose input and feedback actually help make this show better for you. I'll have a page up on the site for friends of the show, so if you wouldn't mind rewarding them with a listen, I'd greatly appreciate it. Finally, as always, a thank you to Purple Planet for our music theme, and you, the listener, for tuning in. I'm Rob Conlon, and until we meet again, please keep moving forward with your self-betterment and your job hunt. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and Recruiting Hell will be here to help you keep pace.